Scarface. It's your boy, the one with the scar on his face, your boy Scarface, and welcome back to another episode. Thank you guys for always tuning in every week. You guys support the podcast like crazy. I really do appreciate it. Just the value that you guys get from the podcast is, it's tremendous for me just because that's what I want. I want to bring you guys value and entertainment too at the same time. Like I want you guys to tune in every week and get something out of it, not just entertainment, but get something out of it. And so thank you guys again. Shout out to everyone who has been purchasing stuff from naughtyscience.com. If you guys want to get something from there, adult tools, go ahead and get something. There's a code in the description just for the podcast. So if you guys want to go get something from with the discount code, definitely check the description. And again, this is going to help your guys' intimacy, your relationship, make it extra spicy, make it even more spicier. That way it doesn't get boring. Trust me, I've been testing a lot of the stuff on here. It works like wonders. It's amazing. And of course, I got to test my own product. So definitely go check it out. And shout out to everyone who has purchased stuff from naughtyscience.com. Link is in the description too as well. So definitely check it out. So today's episode, I wanted to get into some relationship dynamics. But before we get into that, of course, I want to do another round of how deep will you go. This is a card game, kind of, where you just pull the card, answer the question, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. That's what she said. So the first one is icebreakers, and then it goes to confessions, and then getting deep. So let's get into that before we get into the episode, okay? And if you guys have your own, definitely think about the question. So what is your favorite trait about yourself? And this is something that I've said before, too, in the past, is that I don't know where I get it from. Well, probably from my dad. He's a pretty good hustler, hard worker, always grinding. But I would just say just my drive to do things, because when I want to do something, I'll make shit happen. Like I needed to record this episode, and to me, this stuff, the content, the podcast, the TikToks, come first before any fun activities, because work now and then later on those fun times will come, and then people will wonder later on, how did you get here? And I get that all the time. Like, they think it's easy that you get here, but they don't see all the work that you put in, all the hustle, the drive. Like, so you have to have that motivation, that drive. And so I think that's a favorite trait of mine, because I see some other people who struggle with that. And I don't struggle with it, because when I want to do something, I want to do it, and I'll make it happen. No matter what we got to do, I'll make it happen. And I don't struggle with like, should I even do it today? Because I've seen people come and go, social media, podcasts, like they get tired. They don't see that results they were looking for, and they just give up. But they don't realize that it takes time. It takes a lot of hard work, and, eventually it'll pay off. So the next one is level 2 is confessions. What's something normal to you that other people find weird? What is something normal to me that other people find weird? I would just say, to be 100% honest, would be chivalry, because to me it's normal. Opening doors, getting the bill, being polite, all that stuff. The car door, making sure you open it, make sure you, like that, all to me is normal. And then nowadays I see how not normal it is, because there's so many guys who don't do it. There's so many guys who think that they don't need to do it anymore. There's so many guys that they want their girl to do it for them. No. That's not how it goes. To me, that's normal. That's how every guy should be. Granted, there are a lot of guys who are like that, but trust me, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of guys who don't do none of that. Like, I see them walk to the door, like their car, and they just get in, and I'm just like, you couldn't open your girl's door? You couldn't open the door, like, to go inside the place? Like, you have her paying for everything? Come on now. Like, manners, this and that. No, absolutely not. Like, there's a lot of guys who do not have that anymore, and that's something that's normal for me, and for other people, not so normal. What is your biggest struggle right now? My biggest struggle right now. I think it's funny because like it always hits me, like the imposter syndrome. Like, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Uh, like, why am I even doing? Like, how am I even here? You know, I get I get that quite a bit. You know, like especially the imposter syndrome because I don't know why that shit hits me like all the time, which it shouldn't. Uh, but it just does, and I know other people can relate to that. Um, and it just knowing that there's a process to everything. People are at different levels because of different reasons. You know, you just got to keep grinding and doing what you do. Um, and so because there's sometimes you see something on social media and you're like, fuck, I want to do that too, but it probably took them a while to get there on there too. So you everything there's levels to everything, and so struggling trying to keep yourself in one lane, right? So many people want to do multiple things. People want to start a vlog channel with no followers. You know, very difficult. Uh, or they're trying to do an Instagram page and they just want to touch on everything. No, like you have to find something and then stay locked in that because eventually it can grow into something bigger. Because if you become, a master at that, you can be very good at other things. There's so many people that want to be good at a lot of little things. There's people that I want to do outfits of the day. I want to do gym stuff. I want to do this. No, like you have to find a reason why people are going to follow you. And then eventually you can start getting into other stuff too. So that's something I struggle with right now. But I know why you guys are here. You guys are here for the relationship stuff. Um, so these are just some dynamics I wanted to go over. These are 5 different dynamics that just go on with relationships. Like for the first one, is monogamy dead or is it just evolving? Now, I don't think it's dead. It's just people see there's so many options out there right now, right? Because before, for example, my parents, they didn't have no social media, they didn't have no internet, so they couldn't see other people. They didn't have that feeling like, is there something better out there? They didn't have none of that, right? And right now with social media, people are seeing all these other options, not just options, like there's all these other girls, other guys, and now you're just questioning, like, are you sure? Like, am I with the right person? There's so many other guys that I find attractive, other girls that I find attractive, um, and it's also like that's why like social media has its pros and cons because you get to see other people that you normally wouldn't, but then people obviously it's easier for like, especially with the internet made it easy to be able to get divorced or just to cheat. you know they see other people just getting divorced, they get married for a year, divorce after that. It's so easy, like, because they're just like, oh, normalize getting married, and then it's so easy to get a divorce, right? uh, I think they should, even though it's already difficult to get a divorce, I think they should make it a little bit more difficult to get a divorce. That way, not everybody, or even maybe making it harder to get married too. That way, they have to think twice before getting into that situation. That way, they're just not getting married, getting divorced, getting married, and getting divorced. Um, but being faithful to one person, it can happen. You just have to find your right person, and it has to be the right person. It can't just be somebody that you're like, oh, I kind of like, right? Or if you feel like they're kind of into you too. No, you'll feel it. Like when you're into somebody, you can feel like there's a connection there. Uh, and you only have eyes for this person. Yes, of course, there's other people out there, but you only have eyes for this one person. Um, so it's a little, you could still do it. You could still be monogamous to one person. It's just a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more work. And like I said, the internet made it so easy to cheat now with all these online sites. Remember, there was the online site a while back ago where you could sign up just to cheat on your wife, you know, uh, because that's why I feel like some people get married a little too young because there's so many, like, how are you going to date somebody, the first real relationship you're ever in, you marry that person? How do you know that's your person? You've barely spent any time with this person, and you're still growing, especially when you marry young. You're still growing, you're still developing. You haven't really even found yourself yet. You're getting married to your supposed love of your life. I've seen so many people that got married during high school or a little bit after high school who are divorced. They're no longer together because, you know, it was too soon. And there, granted, there's some people who are still together too, but I've seen more divorces than people actually still together. Um, so I would just say yes, you could still be monogamous, monogamous. I'm over here fucking up the word, but it has to be that right person, and you have to feel like that's the person. If you have to question your guys' relationship, if you have to question anything in it, maybe not so much that person. Maybe that's not your person because um, you have to question. Always trust your gut feeling. That's why I tell you guys over on TikTok, IG, always trust your gut feeling because your gut feeling always tells you what basically the truth sometimes. That gut feeling usually doesn't lie because if someone gives you the signs that they're cheating or they're doing other stuff or they're not the one, if you have to question, is this the person? It's probably not the person. You should be like, yes, this is my person right here. You see the difference? So I wouldn't just say it's dead because there's plenty of faithful people out there. There's plenty of people who only have, only want that one person, but now, like it says, it's just evolving because people are in open relationships, meaning, yeah, they can go mess around with somebody else, but your partner has to know, which kind of still you're being faithful to that person as long as you're not doing anything that they don't know, if that makes sense. You see how it's like it gets different, it gets a little bit more complex. So, but is it still alive? Absolutely. And just in different ways too. So, and then soft launching a partner. Why do we do it? The good old hand pose, the good old let me show you my fingernail. You show her hand, you show his hand, you show the elbow. And I think people soft launch just because, yeah, like when you first meet a person, of course you want to share everybody. Look who I'm talking to. It's an amazing person. I like her. I like him. And then it doesn't work out, and a lot of people are just trying to avoid those type of situations because then people start asking you, what happened here? What happened to that person you were talking to? What happened to that person you were dating? That person you showed on your social media? What happened to them? Because people get nosy and people want to know. So that's why people do maybe like a soft launch, kind of like, hey, I'm hanging out with a guy, I'm hanging out with a girl, just so y'all know, but I'm not ready to, I'm not 100% sure that this is going to go long term, but so let me just show you their hand. If they're only showing your hand like a year in, problem, okay? Red flag right there. So soft launching, I would say is absolutely fine, and then they do the hard launch because people have done like hard launches and then it just goes to shit right away. People come out with some rumors. People want to ruin the relationship because they don't want to see you happy. Like a lot of things can happen. So that's why it's people say it all the time. It's better to have your relationship private because now nobody's up in your business. Because I remember I was talking to a girl one time. I think I've said this before. I was talking to this girl one time. We were talking for a little while, and then her friend found out that we were talking and hanging out. She was like, "Oh, did you know that he went on a date with so and so? He did this, he did that." And she was like, "Well, that was before we started talking." But yeah, and it almost felt like she was trying to ruin the relationship before it even anything happened. And there's people like that. They want to like feed you some like dirt or rumor or like old cheeseman just because it has nothing relevant to do with you at all. It's something. Say you went on a date 2 years ago with a certain person that she knew, and then all of a sudden, like, did you know he went on a? It's so crazy how people fucking work and people think like they feel like they need to tell you that. They need to ruin the relationship, but instead of seeing you happy and being like, yeah, you know what, this is probably gonna work. No, or I'm rooting for them. So that's why people do soft launches. If you could just keep your relationship private, all the better. But I get it. There's so many couple influencers that people want to be that couple influencer. Because I've made the mistake of hard launching somebody. Um, I think it was 2 times now. And then afterwards, everybody's just like, what's going on? What happened? No, 3 times. uh, what's going on? What happened? Like, you guys look so good. And like, um, give us the tea. And then they tell other people, did you know they date? It's just a whole mess, And like, I get it because you put it out there into the public. So obviously, the public is going to have an opinion about it. And so if you don't want a public's opinion about your relationship, just don't put your relationship out there. Or just wait. Do a soft launch in the beginning, like not in the beginning, but maybe early on your guys' relationship. And then if you guys are still together for a while, a hard launch, and then go on from there. Because the last thing you want to do is like some of these people hard launch the first weekend, and then by week 3, they're already separated. And everyone's like, what the fuck happened? And all of a sudden, this dude's with another girl. This girl's with another dude. It's just a mess. So soft launching, that's why people do it. Guys don't get mad. Girls don't get mad. But maybe because they've been burned in the past. But again, if you've been with somebody for, I would say, it, anything over a year, there's a problem. Anything over a year, unless you guys are trying to keep stuff private, understand 1000%. But this is a conversation you have beforehand, not just like us, not even tell her, not even tell him that you want to keep things private and why you want to keep things private. And maybe they'll respect it and they'll be like, oh, okay, that totally makes sense. But if they say they want to keep shit private, but they give you like weird vibes that they're talking to other people, uh, all right. So the next one that I have is how to spot a red flag. I think the biggest thing in like in another person right away, right off the top, or even early on in the relationship is lying. If they have to lie about little things, that is the biggest red flag. If they lied about their height, uh, certain details, especially early on, they lied about their kid. They lied about like not being with somebody. If they lied about these things, what else are they going to lie about? That's just, if they can lie about big things, they're going to lie about little things. You know what I mean? Like, because if they had a lie, like when I was talking to this one girl, she clearly told me that, I was like, oh, is that your daughter? No, that's my sister. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you're awfully a lot with your sister, and it kind of looks like you're like out to go get ice cream. And I'm, like, don't get me wrong. I like to hang out with my brother. I like to hang out with my nephew and stuff, but not that much. And then later on, I ended up finding out that it was her daughter. Like, did you not think that the people? And I felt a type of way after that, because I felt like she lied to me. Clearly, she lied to me, and so just like I think that would be something to learn early on, because if you can find one lie, it's probably gonna be another one, and then another one, and then another one. And who knows what else are they gonna. That's why people end up getting together with somebody is currently still married or in a relationship. He's over here doing 2 different relationships, or is still with somebody but telling you that they're not together. Has multiple kids, then told you. You're just gonna avoid a lot of these things. So call them out on their lies, especially right in the beginning. And if they give you an excuse, a good excuse, you're just like, all right, cool, that's solid. But that's something really to look out for in the very beginning, is definitely the lying portion. Maybe other people have red flags, but that's something like instantly right away. If you lied about this, what else are you going to lie about? So that's how to spot one. But like that's the first one that came to my mind. Maybe a different one came to your mind, and just because that's what you've seen. So whatever you think is something that you can see right away in somebody, or maybe even constantly on their phone, maybe that's a red flag that you can spot right away. we're here on a date, but you stay on your phone for some reason. You know what I mean? So the next one that I have is love bombing versus genuine affection. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have been love bombed in the beginning of relationships, and it ended up going to shit, or they ended up doing a 180 on you, going from like absolutely great to absolutely horrible. That's why you got to be careful early on. There's those people who say, I love you in the first week, first 2 weeks. No, you don't love them. What you're loving is how, like, those moments you guys are having, like, it's making you feel good. It's making you feel great. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're in love with this person. It means that you like that. You're infatuated by that, like the feelings it's making you feel. Um, because if say you've been single for a while and then all of a sudden you start talking to somebody and you start dating them or going on dates, maybe you like being around them. Maybe you like having a conversation with them. Because you haven't done this with anybody in a while. Um, Maybe you like that they're flirting with you. It's making you feel a type of way, making you feel these emotions, these feelings that you haven't felt in a long time. So you're loving that. You're not loving so much that person, because you're still trying to figure out that person. So if somebody's love bombing you in the very beginning, that's where you got to be careful. I love yous. We're gonna be together forever. We should get married. Instead of like gradually trying to get to know somebody, it's funny like to throw like, "Hey, I'm the love of your life" in the beginning, just because like it's fun to joke around, because I've said it before too. But I'm not being 1,000% serious because like, hey, like we actually got to go through a process to see if we're actually compatible with each other. I've never told somebody I love you that fast at all. Um, I remember a girl told me, like, I think it was like we were only talking 2 weeks. She's like, I love you, like, sent me a snap. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what is this? Like, we barely even been talking. How do you love me? So you just got to be careful. She ended up being crazy. Told you. Like, that's why you got to be careful. And genuine affection is, I know it can get confused with love bombing because I'm an affectionate person. I like to do cool things. I like to be affectionate. Like I like to do different things, right? But I'm definitely not love bombing you in the beginning. Like eh, making love bombing for people is different things. It could be like an overwhelming love of you. Like you're kind of clingy to that person, which can turn somebody off. Like you always want to see them, like every day, every single minute of the hour, because you just like being around them. You're just like, I love being around you, and that can become, suffocating if that makes sense. You know, or an overwhelming amount of gifts in the beginning because you're trying to buy their love or their attention or whatever the case. So that's what I'm saying. Like that can be because I like doing cool things. Like if I see something cool, I'll be like, oh shit, I think she would like this. Let me get this. Not like I need to get her this. I need to get her this. I need to get this. Like that way that way she likes me. That way she loves me. No, I do it just because that's what I like to do. So you got to be careful. I feel like genuine affection is just something that happens over a long period of time compared to in the very beginning because you have to pay attention. The whole honeymoon phase, the whole puppy love phase is only like 2-3 months, right? 2-3 months, and then all of a sudden maybe you start seeing a change. They start wanting to see you less. The hangout, like the dates aren't as much. The intimacy isn't as much. The conversations change. You have to pay attention to that compared to being consistent throughout. That's why you can relate this to a lot of different areas, not just love bombing and genuine affection. Their consistency, like, are they really into you? This has to happen over a period of time. You can't just be like 1 month in, does he want something serious with me? Like, I hate it when I get a question like that. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know him. Yeah, like I need a little bit more details, and plus you need a little bit more time, aka data, to see if he's actually into you. Say he's great for 4 months, and all of a sudden, like month 5, you feel a shift. The shift happened for a reason, and then all of a sudden, like He's not hanging out as much, can't see me as much, can't do this as much. You got to pay attention to that. That's what tells you like if they're into you. So definitely be careful with the whole love bombing, and and just be open to being affectionate, because if I give a gift, say I give you coffee, that's just something I like to do. You know, I can't come and give you a coffee to your office, but I can send you a gift card to go. That way you can go get some coffee when you have a chance, right? I like to do stuff like that. I'm not like, hey, here's this, I love you. No, I'm just like, hey, like, let me get you your coffee. Boom, here you go. Maybe one day I'll be able to go and take it to you. So, and that I'm consistent throughout whoever I'm with. It's not just like in the beginning type of thing. That's the problem that a lot of people make. They, again, take everything with a grain of salt the first three months. Okay. They can just be doing things because they want to hook up. They love hooking up with you at the moment. They love what's going on in the moment. But how are they when it gets to relationship months, right? And over a year, and if you're not in a relationship with this person, that's a problem. So the last one that I have, does the 80-20 rule in relationships actually hold up? Now, I'm assuming the 80-20 rule on this one, where I got the information from, is how much effort each person is putting in. Now, I always say guys need to put in effort, girls need to put in effort. Yes, a guy does need to put in a lot more effort than the girl, but if the girl is putting in, or the guy is putting in all the effort and the girl doesn't put in any effort, for example, say I'm putting in all this effort into a girl, I'm barely getting anything back from her, anything that makes me feel that she's also interested. I'm just like, I don't think she's interested. Am I wasting my time? Should I don't feel like I should be doing this. Like, guys do feel like that. And yes, I'm speaking for myself. Like, I felt that before in the past. And so if you can't, that's why there shouldn't be an exact number, but the guy should be, if anything, it should be 60-40. I like to put in effort into somebody, but I also like to feel that they're also putting in effort into me, because that just lets me know, hey, this person is interested in me. Let me keep putting in effort because they're interested. I'm interested. Let's see where this goes. Instead of, I'm sure you guys been on with somebody and like, you do this, you go out of your way to do this, but then they can't even they can't even text you back, call you back when they said they're going to call you, come and see you. They constantly cancel on you. They're hot and cold with you. So you have to pay attention to this stuff. And if that's how I think another reason or another way you can tell somebody is interested in you is like, how much effort are they putting in? Are they actually putting in the effort? Say you're a girl, because the majority of the following is girls. Is your guy actually trying to plan dates? Like, hey, this Saturday, let's go do this, or let's hang out Saturday. And even maybe a couple times during the week too. Nothing wrong with that. Every day type of hanging out. I don't think I could do that, but just know that your guy is all putting in the effort to hang out with you, to see you, not just being intimate with you. That's a whole different thing. And if he's just inviting you over and you guys are just hooking up and that's it, like hanging out, no. Are you guys going out? Are you guys going to like different, maybe dinner, maybe like some sort of event that's going on, maybe a concert, maybe out to get a couple drinks? Are you guys doing that type of stuff in public, not just coming over, because then that's a whole different situation. Is he being consistent with you? The whole 80-20. Yes, I get it. People get busy, but if a guy is actually interested in you, he's going to make the effort to try to text you, voice memo you, call you, FaceTime you, like whatever the form of communication you guys choose, he's going to try to do that. It shouldn't just be him sending you a reel or a meme and then that's it. Like, that's the form of communication. Actually talking, right? So that's another way. And of course, that's why I say the guy should be putting more effort, but 80-20, I feel like that's not enough. Yes, I get it. the guy's trying to court the girl, but let me feel that you're also interested. If you want to be a little hesitant in the beginning because you're not trying to get hurt, totally understand. I totally get that. But you just doing it just because, like, no, he has to put in all the effort. Trust me, you're gonna lose a lot of people. Because I felt that way before, and I'm just all right, fuck this, I'm out. And then they're like, well, what happened? And you're like, no, I feel like you weren't fucking interested. I'm like, I'm not gonna pursue something I feel like you're not interested. It's a waste of time. Um, and there's like different things that some girls do. I remember the whole there's this girl who, like, we were having a great conversation, talking back and forth, and then out of nowhere, like, I sent her a message and it was like adding to the conversation, and she just didn't respond. And I'm like, oh, okay. The next day didn't respond. The following day, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Maybe she's not wanting to talk anymore, because I was like, there's no reason why she should have stopped talking to me that day. And then I think a week went by, and then she finally messages me. She's like, oh, so you're just not going to message me anymore? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I sent you a message and you just never responded. It was basically asking you a question. I get it if you got busy and then later on you're like, hey, I got busy earlier. Here's the answer, but what are you doing? Or something like that. Or even the next day, like, I don't know, depends on what happened. uh, so I would, no, she got mad at me because she was doing it as a test. She was like, oh, I was just trying to see what will you do if I just stop talking? Well, if you just stop talking to me, I feel like you're not interested in me. So I fucking dip out. That's what happened. And she's like, oh, so just like that, you're just going to end it? I'm like, yeah. I'm not going to sit here, hey, we doing? Hi, just checking in. No. Like, especially after the last message I had sent her. Clearly, I was asking her something, and then she didn't want to respond. Yeah, like, maybe I'm being a little bit stubborn, but, like, I don't see the reason not to respond to that. And then just to find out that you did that just so you would see what I would do was really annoying to me. Very annoying. Because I was like, that's why you did it? Just to see what I would do after? No, you just fucking ruined this for doing that. And that's why you got to be careful. There's some people out here trying to be toxic and shit. Like, it's fun to do like little toxic shit every now and then, but actually being that way, trust me, there's not a lot of guys who like that. There's not a lot of girls who like that. Because that, I felt like that was like toxic vibes she was trying to do to me. And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm cool. And then she's like, oh, so we're just done? I'm like, yeah. I was like, that what you did was very annoying to me. I feel the type of way. It gave me like a weird ick in a way, where I was just like, I'm done with this. So, and that's what I mean. Like, just put in effort. Don't make that person chase you. Don't chase yes, court the girl, but don't chase them. Yes, don't chase the guy, but let them court you, but also be showing effort on your end. Hey, let's hang out this day. Hey, like, I can't that day. What about Friday? I have like on Saturday when you asked me, I have this already going on. Can we hang out Friday? That's putting an effort. Be like, oh, okay, well, we can't Saturday, but we can Friday. Oh, we can't. Both of us are busy Friday and Saturday. Sunday. Putting an effort, making sure you like, hey, like, moving some things. That way you can hang out with your person or see this person or put in effort to the relationship. So, and like, that's putting in effort. Going out of your way to see the person, like surprising them with something. I'm not saying like super expensive gift. I'm saying like a coffee. Okay. If you gift a coffee to somebody and they're like, that's it, that's the wrong person. I'll tell you that right now. So, I mean, I just wanted to go over those few relationship dynamics. That way it can get your brain thinking and wondering, just because a lot of people who listen to the podcast listen to it because of relationship issues, intimacy issues, kinks, exes, cheating, narcissists, like all sorts of stuff, right? So I just want to put these in your head because the great thing about this podcast, it either brings you guys closer together or it makes you realize that, hey, maybe we shouldn't be together because we're having way too many problems. this isn't normal, and we just need to be happy, or it also shows people that this person is not interested in me, or this person is not interested in me anymore. So it helps you open up and think about things. And if you feel like if your gut is telling you that your person is just like this, they probably are. I did a while back ago, I did a signs that your ex might be, or not your ex, signs that your partner might be cheating on you. And I had somebody listen to it and they messaged and they're like, I hate that I listened to this episode, but I'm glad I listened to the episode because a lot of these things my girl is doing. And then come to find out she was cheating. So, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's good and bad because he's over here thinking that nothing's happening. She's cheating. He finds out. He realizes this relationship's not working. That's why I'm saying like this podcast and the TikToks are good and bad. Because obviously bad, you find out information that you didn't want to know, but it's good that you found it out because now you need what are we going to do now? So I want to thank you guys for listening every week. Make sure you guys go to naughtyscience.com to pick up something. And this Saturday, July 12th at Westgate in Glendale, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, wherever you want to say, at Westgate at Salt. We are going to be having my birthday party. I have friends coming in. I have people that I have invited. I invite each and everybody. Like if you listen to this, yes, you are fucking invited. Come and hang out. Let's celebrate. It's going to be a great day. Even if you don't want to celebrate my birthday, celebrate that it's Saturday, it's summer, having a good time. You're successful. You've been grinding, you've been hustling. Come out and have a good time, and I'll see you there.